Okay guys, I just want to give you an update here on my wiring. I'm getting back to that, so we'll call this part one. This is my American wire harness kit that I'm using. It's right there, 510125, and you can see that's for the 64 through 65 classic update. For my EFI wiring harness, I'm using the Ron Francis wiring 5.0 EFI wiring harness, Cobra 75. So basically, once you kind of get it fished through here, and I'll make a video on all the dash stuff later, but once you get the rear wiring harness ready to go, it just goes down in this channel here. You can see the clips. I didn't clip it in there because eventually this wire will have to be pulled out a little bit when I get it painted. Goes up through here, and then it comes up through the wheel well, and it goes back over the wheel well over there. So, and then once you come over here, let me get my handy dandy little flashlight because I forgot it. Let's go one. Okay. And we'll show you. You can see it comes down here. That's for the turn signals, for the parking light. And this one here is for the fuel sender. I did add my own ground for this, so I ran a separate wire in this bundle here going all the way up to the front because the Dakota Digital needs it. So I also ground it here because it said to ground the body of it as well, to really ground it. And this one here actually had a ground, which you can see I ran up over here, and then I went ahead and put another one over here and ran it up back over here. Where can you see it? There you go. So I got my two grounds there, and then this is the actual feed for the pump right here, which came off the EFI wiring harness, and it's basically got its own relay through the cutoff switch, which I put in, you can see right there. So I basically ran these wires, separate wires, all the way from the front, which is basically right up there is where I spliced in, and then I ran those down here, the passenger side, you can see there. So that's where I ran those wires. Same thing up over the wheel well, and then basically, you know, came in down through here and then brought it up over here to right here. Now, I forgot which wire was which. I should have marked it, I didn't. So once I actually get it running, I'll break out my tester and see these, and I'll be able to hook them up. So for now, I'll probably just use some wire nuts or something when I go to start it up. Find the right one, then I'll probably just solder them, you know, put some heat shrink wrap on it, and it should be good to go. This all over here is pretty well self-explanatory once you get in the directions. There's a wire that goes down in there for basically the backup lights, which go there. You can kind of see my, where is it? You can kind of see that blue pigtail coming off there. So once I get these hooked up, all I got to do is plug them in. I did put my ground right here along with the wire tie down, which I put here, grounded off a little bit, put a star washer on it, so I'll have a nice ground for my wire. This one here, I'm probably going to change these plastic clips over to these insulated aluminum clips, just because these plastic clips are junk, you know, but they're Harbor Freight special, so I'll get rid of those. And then the wires come in here, and then actually there's a groove up underneath here, and there's little clips where you can run the wires, and it comes all the way over here. This one right here is actually for that one there. It's for the license plate. You splice into it, come in here, and then there's a light back up in here that, you know, will light up once you have your lights on. It comes over here. I still got a little bit of a mess over here. I just basically got to put some more of this wire protector on there, and then kind of tuck those wires in a little bit. If I need to splice them and, you know, shorten them up a little bit, I can. But same thing, it's got the connector for the turn signal, and same thing right down in here where my hand is where the parking light right there goes. So the same thing, I've already got it pigtailed, so I got the lights, I can just splice those in. So I'll show you what I did as far as soldering, because I just didn't like the idea of just crimping them. So what I did is I got some practice wire here, And what I did is I went ahead and bought some separate little O-rings like this and like this. I got some 18 to 20 2 gauge, and then I also got some 16 to 14 gauge, and just used the appropriate one. I crimped it down, and then what I did is I actually got some of this flux right here, and then I basically dipped the wire in it, put it in here, crimped it down, and then I got my solder with my soldering gun, heated it up, and it just sucked in there real frickin' nicely. So now these are nice clips that are not going to come off, and that's what I did with all these connectors in the back, because I just didn't like the crimped ones. They were just, I don't know, flimsy, didn't want them to rattle off. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I did 8. You know, soldering's really not that difficult. You just got to practice. I took about an hour or two, got a bunch of wire, got some clips, tried it out, and you know, I really found that using that flux really helps to get that soldering going. So anyways, this is part 1 of the wiring project. I'm going to get into the dash and get all that taken care of, and we'll make part 2 here hopefully sometime this weekend. Bye.